Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have a simple one for you today. This one is the DC Rebirth Joker, which came out in 2020, the fall of 2020, I want to say. I actually had to look it up on the McFarlane toy website. So yeah, sometime in the fall of 2020. But we have it here, so I figured why not open it up and take a look and see what we got, see, how he looks, how he functions. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so after looking at him in the box, the first thing I noticed was, man, those knees look like they are really hyperextended. I mean, it looks like he was playing some football and just kind of juked a little wrong, and those knees got flipped inside out. Because as you can see, they're kind of bowed. I mean, those are just some bowed knees. However, that is kind of how he's supposed to be. I'll kind of bring it up closer to the camera. But that is like where the knees lock. And you also notice that the fabric pattern, that's where it's most continuous. That's where it's the most consistent. And so it looks like just one big pant leg, but the joint is there. But whoops, yeah, we'll get to the gun in a second. When you do move the knee back, unfortunately you can kind of see the joint. And I was curious because it looked like he almost had 2 point. It looked like it. Oh yeah, it does. Interesting. So it also, that's strange. I wonder why that is. So yeah, he has like 1 point right there where there's a joint, and then you can also like bend the knee on the bottom part of the knee. And there goes the disc. So man, that is. I wonder why that is. I mean the curvature. I mean, it looks more natural, right? But yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot showing right there. It doesn't really hide much. So you almost want to keep it just straight and have those. It sounded like I just broke his leg, and have those really bowed, backwards looking legs. That's strange. I think it's just the art design, the design they went with, which is fine. I mean, it kind of fits in a way. I don't know. It kind of works, especially with like the shoes he's wearing, the way they kind of curve. Cool thing about I can't stress this enough, but the articulation here and the toe part is very easy, and it's very like smooth, so you can tweak it as much as you want instead of just having like a click, click, click. It's just one smooth movement. And then I think the foot. Yeah, not much on the foot, so just the toe area. The heel doesn't really, I mean, it kind of turns a little bit, but his pants kind of hold it steady. But yeah, enough about the legs. That's the legs, kind of a pro and a con, right? Like if you have them straight like this and they look kind of look a little bit wonky, the pants look the best that way. But if you kind of straighten them out and give it a more natural look, you can see all the joints under there, which I mean, you can't really cover it up. I mean, Joker, it's not like he wears knee pads or anything, so there's only so much you can do to stay within the design. So I get it. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, let's see what else we got. The arms seem kind of stiff. The wrists do rotate, which is good. The shoulder, I mean, it rotates like this, but it doesn't. Oh, it does go outward. Oh, good. Well, you see, again, like it does go outward. There's a lot of movement there, but the joint underneath is pretty visible. Again, these are just things that I like to bring up. They might not be a big deal to most people. If you go like this far, you can't even see the joint. So, and interesting. It looks like the elbow does the same thing that the knee does. It does. There's like 2 points right there where you can rotate. I guess just to maybe like pull it all the way back. Is that what it does? Let's see how far back we can get it. Oh my god. Yeah, it goes back pretty far. You can like scratch his back with his crowbar if you wanted to, I guess. It's strange. I wonder why it does that. Anyway. Um, yeah, crowbar and the crowbar hand, very good. Crowbar fits good in there. It's snug, but I mean, you can adjust it if you want. Gun hand, not so good. As you saw, the gun just kind of fell out. It's his long, comically long revolver. Downside, I mean, the crowbar kind of works, right? It's just a solid gray. I mean, it's a crowbar. I guess you could put some kind of like paint or, worn texture on there if you wanted to give more detail, but I'm not so bummed about that. But the revolver is just like, it's all gray. I mean, it just looks kind of cheap. I hate using that word, and it's not meant to be offensive. I'm not saying it's just, oh, what a cheap thing. I'm just saying it's usually when they do this, um, I just always just wish they would add some kind of like paint or texture to it. Also, what tends to happen is when they're in the packaging, they do kind of bend and warp a little bit, especially with like the bigger, the longer ones like this. Good thing is it's like a harder plastic. It's not like that rubbery plastic. So you can actually, I mean, if if you work with it and just kind of bend it and reform it, you could put it, between two like books or something. You can probably flatten it out. The soft rubbery plastic, usually when that's warped, I don't even try because it's usually warped for good. Um, and if you tend to flex that back and forth too much trying to fix it, it does kind of like crack and break. But so that's a kind of a pro, I guess, with the gun. But as you can see, the hand is like the fingers are really far apart. And it doesn't even look like it's fit to hold a gun just because of the way the thumb is, and so it doesn't quite fit in there right because the pinkies, you can kind of wedge it in there. Tried to kind of reform the fingers a little bit. Strangely enough, it looks like the middle finger kind of fits on the trigger a little better than the pointer finger. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter from afar. But it does fit in there kind of loose. You got to kind of get it just right, otherwise it just tends to fall out. So I don't know. The fingers, like I said, you can kind of mold them. I'm sure if you wanted to mold them even more, you could take like maybe a heat gun on the very lowest setting, or maybe even just like a blow dryer. I wouldn't put too much heat on it because you don't want to melt it, but there's probably better ways to reform it. I usually just kind of bend them with force a little bit, and then put the gun in there and curve it around, and yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's that. Kind of bummed out about the hand. Um, let's see what else we got. I mean, he is kind of stiff. The legs kind of spread out. But again, it kind of, if you get him to do the splits, you can see you can see a little too much as far as the joints and stuff go. The stuff behind the scenes. Um, so I don't know. You could probably do like a weird, goofy Joker pose. I don't know. He's a goofy guy, right? Um, yeah, they do kind of move at the hip. Pretty good. The only downside is you can't like turn the hip out. You turn the leg out like you wanted to have this leg turn to the side. It's either got to be up, down, or up and down like this, side to side. So, not much movement in there. But yeah, again, like the shoulders and arms and stuff, hands move great, even if this one's not shaped great. The head moves quite a bit. I mean, you can even tilt it to the side. But you can't do with all of them. So that's kind of a plus. I do like the hairstyle they chose, just because it does kind of like it sticks out a little bit there. It's a separate piece. So that looks good. The paint job on the face looks really good. It's a really good paint job. I don't know how close I can get this. Usually it doesn't like to focus. I really gotta get a better camera. The bow doesn't really move at all. The vest is it's like separate, but it's part of the jacket. Like you can kind of move it. I do like how the chain continues up under the vest. That's a nice touch. And it goes up pretty far. So I like that it's separate. I kind of wish the jacket was somehow separate from the vest, but I don't want to get too picky. The coattails, they move a lot. I mean, we've seen this pretty much every cape or coattail or jacket that figures wear are all made of this kind of floppy, rubbery plastic, which is good because they should move, right? They're coattails. And yeah, I mean, he's a pretty simple figure. He's a cool design. I kind of wish maybe they would have put maybe a little more detail on like the shoes, just because the shoes are just solid black. They almost look like elf shoes. It is what it is. So yeah, it's kind of fun just to look at. It is an older one, so you know. But yeah, I mean, if you like the Joker, there's so many different Joker variation figures out there, and there's more to come. There's always gonna be more to come, right? But yeah, it's a good one. I don't know if it's the best Joker I've seen. But if you just want like it's not. I guess I kind of like it because it's. I mean, it's very. He looks dressed like the Arkham Asylum Joker, but obviously the face is kind of a more classical face. And the crowbar kind of reminds me of like you know the Joker that beats the crap out of Jason Todd and blows him up. Just kind of like that sadistic Joker. Um, yeah, like kind of a more like 80s Joker. So again, I've said this before with some of the other figures, but I really wish like anything with chains, I wish they would give them um you know like actual chains. Like, you know, I mentioned with the older Spawn figures where he has like chains just wrapped around him. I know She-Spawn has like chains that hang from her gun and like actual chains. They have that chrome look to them. I wish they would kind of do more of that stuff. Um, because that really kind of just adds a depth, like a you know detail that kind of goes a long way. And it is kind of just like a simple change. Where when it's just kind of like painted on there, it just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't look right. But yeah, I mean, we could go into you know we could talk for like an hour about all the things that I wish it had. Like, wouldn't it be cool if the flower, what is this called? Is this what is it called? A lapel? Is that what it's called? Oh, I probably got that wrong. But you know the flower where he squirts and it usually shoots like acid or something. I'm not asking it to squirt acid, obviously. But if it was just like an actual like flower, if it had like some texture there, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, overall, pretty simple character. Or simple figure, not a simple character, obviously. Put the disc on him and just kind of stand him up. The disc fits good. That's another thing that's sometimes overlooked. Is sometimes the disc is really loose and then it just falls off. There's like no point in having it, but yeah, there he is. That's the DC Rebirth version of the Joker by McFarlane. Yeah, it is what it is. It's simple. I like it. I mean, it's a good display if you like the Joker, if you like Batman. You can't really turn it down. Like I said, there's so many versions of the Joker out there, with figures and statues and everything. You could dedicate a whole channel just to Joker action figures and statues and all that stuff. But yeah, there it is. It's kind of fun just to look at, take it out and look at it, see what it was. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this was kind of just a spur of the moment one. And just kind of wanted to make like a short little video just talking about it. So yeah, again, feel free to click like, subscribe, all that. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.